So we're doing standard processing time. I'm not paying a little extra. Wait, what? Transaction declined? Okay.
Rather low branches. Huh. Just don't know.
Oh, submit application. The big button.
What are you submitting, Caleb?
Application for LLC. And it's really expensive. It's going to be like over $200, which is a scam. I thought it was like $30. So we're doing standard processing time. I'm not paying a little extra. Wait, what? Transaction declined? Okay, add employer identification to your order. $79. Add certified copies of your documents to your order. See, if you don't know what it is, you don't need it. So I don't think. Congratulations on incorporating your business. Main reason I did this though is just to solidify and protect the Dark Sky Ally name. It's mine now.
Yay. It's exciting. Congratulations.
Okay, morning update. Kind of stopped raining around midnight. I woke up this morning and there are some spots where the roof rack bolts I made are dripping very slowly, especially considering how much rain there was. It was torrential. So the ones that I started with are pretty much all leaking, and then the two that I did after this side are leaking, and then I kind of changed things up and those are fine. So I'm thinking it's because I didn't put enough lap sealant. I left some of the bolt heads exposed. I don't know. I'm about to just climb up on the roof and take a look at the situation. Alright, so after further inspection, it actually makes sense. This one, I haven't found a definitive area where it might have been leaking, but those three over there, yeah, I can tell. I think they were not cured, they weren't ready, and there just wasn't enough sealant on that last one especially. So that totally makes sense why that is, after torrential downpour, leaking. I'm going to inspect all of them just to make sure I'm not going crazy. I see problems with the original box on this corner, not where I did any work, but just the old corner pieces are losing their integrity. You know, the box is 21 years old. You know, this thing can drink now. It's 2004. So it's amazing that it's held up this well. But yeah, I guess it's good to get out camp under a torrential downpour because you can see this stuff and test immediately what you've done before you cover it up with the ceiling or walls or whatever else and make a correction. So I'm trying to look at the positive side of this. It had to be found out, you know? Better to find out now than a year down the road and everything's wet. Okay, so here's a look at the solar panels and how I'm going to put them on top of the truck once I have the foundation rails installed. There's going to be room for gas struts so I can raise them up. At this time, I also fixed a problem with my inverter charger and custom battery build. It's a 24 volt 8 cell bank. And I thought it was a BMS issue, but I guess it was just a wiring problem. Basically, I need to address this rat's nest and come up with a better solution. So this right here is the culprit. This is the pin that had a bad connection. I kind of held it up, and the voltage difference between it and the other ones went away. So with that, the BMS was able to recognize it as an 8 cell again, and it's working. But looking at that rat's nest of wires, I don't know if that's really a permanent solution. I don't know if that's the best way to do things. Probably not, but for now, I'm just gonna call it problem identified and fixed, and probably head outside now to
reseal the roof. We've had a couple days of dryness and it's going to rain next week. So I think I should go ahead and tackle the issues we found camping the other weekend.
I decided to just add another layer after cleaning the surface of the lap sealant, and I found that it did a rather good job going over what was already there, kind of building upon it. Seems to have worked, and as you'll see later, it's a good solution. It held up well.
All right, a little bit of an update. It's been raining for a few hours and we have more on the way. I have successfully fixed all of the leaking except for one place, and I'll show you where that is. It was stupid. I didn't see and think about what was happening. But it looks like the rest of it is working, so the idea of applying more sealant should work. So right there is actually the washer. You can see the outline of the washer, and I didn't seal underneath it, so this water's pooling up here and just seeping very slowly but surely underneath the washer. So that's the current problem. I don't know how I didn't see and comprehend that earlier. I thought it was just where the sealant was like oozing. I don't know, but I didn't think about, oh, that line is literally the washer, and underneath there it's gonna leak. It definitely is. But hey, all the other ones are now working. They're sealing correctly. That's a big deal. So it's progress, and I think proof that this will work. Once we get through this rain, I'll fix this one and we'll be good to go. All right, so I have officially sealed the roof again. The lap sealant is super flowy. It's designed for level applications. I was trying to kind of stack it up a little higher than it probably should have been. Maybe I should have put it underneath my shims and not necessarily thought to cover it up, but you know, with a couple passes, we've got everything covered on both sides now. I even sealed up some of the corner piece on that end over there. We'll see how that goes, because this gray, you know, sealant that came from the factory, what, 21 years ago now? Yeah, it's cracked, and it's definitely going to be a problem down the road. So I figured I'd see how the lap sealant applies there before I order another tube. Now it is time to continue building the rack. I've got some aluminum stretch channel I already cut last week to length with some pluses where I need to cut, with some pluses where I need to drill, and that is going to be right where I need to line it up with the base channel here, and then bam, we're building. Now there is going to be another piece, a 6 or 5 inch piece under here to lift this up because it needs to be higher. Like you see here, I have those pieces as well. So really the hardest part about this roof rack design is the foundation. Once that's up, it's like building with Legos, and I can screw some things in, bolt it all down, and if I don't like it or I find a problem, it'll be easy to undo from here. It's just the foundation is the most permanent, but I'm happy with it so far. I believe that, you know, the solar panels, everything I put on the roof, the weight is going to go through to this base, which is bolted directly to the roof ribs. And not only that, but the roof ribs above the walls. So all the weight is going to go down the walls. I think this design will be the strongest I've seen in a lot of builds, but again, there's a lot of good builds out there I haven't seen. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get to work. I cut the first of these pretty crooked. As you can guess, I'm not really clamping them in a vise or anything. I need to get one so I can do this properly, but they'll hold up and serve their purpose. I stepped up using bigger and bigger drill bits each time to drill these holes. Aluminum is pretty soft, but I want these bits to last as long as I can. It's possible doing this beside the road was a bad idea. Hopefully you can hear me. But whoa, where am I? What's going on? I was just watching a vlog. What's up, dude? Yeah, the video ends here. I had to stop recording, stop building. I've since camped in the Izzy one more time, but it didn't rain. I think everything's working, it's all good, but as far as putting up the next beams, I haven't continued that yet, so it'll be next video. Kind of an abrupt finish to this first edition on the Izzy build vlog. But I hope you enjoyed watching. Subscribe for more. And if you have any feedback on my processes or my building or any suggestions, just let me know. Put a comment down there, you know. Trying to get this thing going. Bye-bye.